Welcome to our presentation about listing and selling with FarmFreshWeb.com. I'm Jim Veyer. I'm the president of the company, and what we want to show you is how to get more sales with less work. We're focused on messaging, getting your message out to customers, and how you sell is up to you. The messages that we can send for you include calendar messaging, push notifications. We have a news feed that can include offers and coupons. We can send messages by text and email, and how you choose to sell is totally up to you. There's a lot of other vendors out there. There's Local Food Marketplace and Food for All and Small Farm Central. These are all online software systems that'll help you list online. But you might want to sell online with us. And if you do, basically what that involves is listing online, taking reservations, and we'll go through the whole process in this presentation. So that's what we're really here to talk about today. What we do is we basically let you list and then take advance reservations for you. We get a credit card to hold the order. The customer picks up that order at market and then they pay there. If they don't show, then we can charge their card, and there's no fee to you unless the card is charged because we're not paying for anything. The advantages of our system are these. First of all, it's a lot easier to manage than the way you may be doing advance reservations today. I've talked to a lot of farmers. Many of them will take an advance reservation either because of a phone call or through email from a customer. This is a lot easier. You can fulfill from a single report. You don't have to deal with emails. And the inventory is automatically updated, which means if you start out the week with 20 lamb chops and you've sold them out, then the next person who gets online to see if they can order lamb chops from you automatically finds out that you don't have any. And then finally we can take a credit card, and that will guarantee the payment so that if somebody doesn't show up, we can still charge their card and you get paid. Here are the steps in the process of working with us if you want to do this. First of all, you have to set up an account with us. That's pretty easy. There's a little form you'll fill out when you download our app. Then you list your products, and actually we'll list them for you. It's easier if you list everything for the year, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Then managing inventory. Basically, we'll show products that have zero quantity available as invisible, and we'll explain why that's an important thing. Then there are reports that we can provide that will help to organize pickup. And finally, we have a report. Actually, you will report to us no-shows in case you want to get paid for those. So that's basically how it works. First of all, setting up an account. You should download our app. There's a couple of different ways you can do that. Just go look for FarmFreshWeb.com on the web, or look for FarmFreshWeb or FFW Farmer on your app store. And when you download it, you want to use the login with Facebook function. That'll be much better than trying to do any other way. Then you fill out the form, and we'll contact you for other details like the markets you sell at or other users, that kind of thing. We'll also answer your questions when we call you back. Now, when you list products, basically what we want is for you to give us the list of everything that you're going to have this year, whether it's stuff you're going to grow or raise, stuff you're going to make, whatever it happens to be, and we'll do the data entry for you for the first time. That way, some of the more complicated aspects of the data entry process are just much simpler for you, and it's just much clearer on how to keep it up to date. What we need for this, pretty basic: the name of the product, description, category, whether you sell it by the pound or the peck, whether you've got different kinds like red and green lettuce, what your growing practices are, whether you do something like organic or biodynamic or animal welfare. And it helps to have pictures from you. We can use stock photos, but the pictures from you will look a lot more authentic. Here are the screens for listing a product if you want to do it yourself. Again, we don't recommend that. Let us do that the first time. But you'll come into this occasionally if you decide to add some products after we do that first data entry for you. Updating inventory. Basically, you will then use our app to set the quantities that you have available. And if you set them to 0, then it doesn't show to the customer. So for example, if you're growing corn and it's January, well, obviously you don't have any corn to sell. You may have spinach or asparagus. Maybe that's later in the spring. But then when it gets to be June or July and you do have corn, you can change that number from 0 to whatever you have, and suddenly it shows up on your order list. Likewise, you can take the asparagus and spinach that are out of season by that point, set them to 0, and they just disappear. You can also edit other things like the name of the product and the description, all the same things that you would enter in when you're adding it in the first place. These are what those screens look like. The first one over on the left is just what it would look like. You click on the little pencil icon, and then you just fill in these things that are relevant. You'll notice that quantity right now it's set to 100, but like we said, that's the thing we think you'll actually interact with the most. Then you'll use our reports. We have two kinds of reports. One is by product that you can use for a pick list, and then the other one is by customer to use for a pack list. And you can set the dates that the reports apply to. Here's what that looks like on the phone. And obviously, if you choose to order it by product detail, then you can see, okay, I need 20 ears of corn and 16 tomatoes and whatever it might be. And then you reorder it by customer detail for packing purposes. The dates just let you set the earliest order that you're going to see in that report and the last one, or the latest one that you would see by date. To report no-shows to us is very important if you want to get paid for somebody who doesn't pick up their order. You report that within 24 hours. That's very important. And obviously, it's best to do it immediately after the market. The report, the initial report that you'll see, will list all the orders for a specific market. And then basically, there'll be buttons that you click to indicate that somebody didn't show up. It's very simple. You hit submit, and then we charge their card. You get the amount that we charge them, less a fee of $2 plus 3%. That's just to cover our costs, including our labor. And then there's no requirement to report if you don't need payment. You know, you could call the customer and find out what's going on. Maybe they want to pick up their order next week. You can work that out, and then don't bother reporting if you don't want to go through that. This screen isn't very useful because there's no data, but what it would show, as I mentioned, is all of the orders for that coming market, and then a little button to indicate whether the person showed up or not. Let's show you what the customer sees when they work with their app, because if we haven't mentioned it, we have two apps. One's for the farmer, one's for the consumer or the shopper. When they download the app, they have a function to go shopping. When they click on that, they'll get to some screens that look like this, and it'll show the name of the market and then the different products. You'll notice in that second screen from the left, there are little filters, so you can search for a specific farmer, or you can search on types of products, like whether it's a vegetable or whatever. And then finally, as you go over to the right, you can see the order entry, somebody putting in what they want, and then finally coming to a shopping cart and checking out. And they will see, by the way, something that says, if you don't pick up your order, then we're going to charge your card. So that's how it works. It's pretty simple. We hope that if you want to sell online, or at least take reservations online for the farmers market, that you will consider us. Check out our app. See us at www.farmfreshweb.com or send us an email. Thanks so much.